Hey guys, how's it going? I think at this point y'all are probably just tired of hearing me say I'm sorry, life's been in a way. Like I feel like I've said that so much this entire year because this year's just really been so hectic for me and everything that's been going on, especially because I'm on a timetable these next like 2 weeks. My son is due within these next 2 weeks, so it's just like waiting for when he's ready to come. So I apologize that this is not live. I said last week I would try to do them live, but again, just a stressful week last week. But we are playing my good pal, my good friend here, Mr. CJ. Awesome dude. Love CJ. Check him out. His channel link and stuff will be down below. I apologize that this is up late. The time that I was free, I really wasn't in the mood to narrate, and I'm sure you guys are able to tell the difference between me when I'm like enthusiastic and like interested in a video, and then other times where I'm just kind of like, well, I don't really care. I don't want to do this, and I don't want to force myself to do this. So finally got a bit of a better mood, got some free time sitting down to hopefully get this up on Monday. I don't know how late it'll be up, but I will try to do my next match live, again just on a timetable. Don't know how things are gonna go, but if I do keep post-commenting these, I'll at least try to bring back my old Wi-Fi layout that I used to use for Sun and Moon, so at least you guys can have a bit of a better visual on the screen. So going into this game, I believe I had defensive Talonflame, I had defensive Clefable, defensive Milk Tank, AV Roserade, Scarf, Barizion, and Bandit Zydog. And when I saw the team preview, I was really surprised that CJ didn't have Diggersby or Heliolisk, which is really nice because I was super scared about those two, along with Lopunny. Also, Breloom is kind of a nuisance, but if I get rid of Breloom, Zydog just kind of comes in and I click Choice Bandit 1000 Arrows. So that was kind of my thought process going into the match. If I can get rid of Breloom, then everything should be fine. So I ended up leading off with my Talonflame in hopes that he would lead off with potentially his Druddigon, Lopunny, or this Heatran, and I go straight for the taunt because that means I will be able to hopefully stop him from going for the Stealth Rocks, or as you guys saw, he went for the Toxic. As I bring in my Milk Tank here, he does end up going for the Magma Storms, as I believe I go for a Toxic this turn as he switches out into the Druddigon. And this is nice because I will be able to put this Druddigon on a timer. I thought that he would either bring this in or that he would bring in the Togekiss. The fact that he was going to bring Moldbreaker Druddigon was extremely obvious because we do have Mega Sableye on our squad, and Moldbreaker neglects the magic bounce ability, so Druddigon 100% was always going to be able to get up rocks. Even though, yes, we do have Talonflame in the back, these rocks are actually not even a problem whatsoever, so I'm honestly not concerned about it. As I hit him up with a return, I believe I go for another return this turn. In hindsight, what I should have done was probably gone for the milk drink, just so I could have kept my Milk Tank a little bit healthier, because now that this has become a little bit weaker, this limits my switch-ins to Sneasel, which has now become a bit of a nuisance because of me not going for the defensive play and going for the milk drink. But I did get information on the Togekiss, and I find out that it's more of an offensive variant as opposed to a bulky variant. As I bring in my Roserade here, he doubles into his Heatran, maybe scouting out to see what I wanted to do. And in the first game, I actually did not have the correct hidden power on my Roserade, and he hit his Magma Storm. So I'm just going to Sludge Bomb here so he can't hit his Magma Storm, because that's what happened in the initial battle. And I am going to be able to tank this hit because I am Assault Vested, and even after being trapped I will be able to live, so I can at least either knock out this Heatran or potentially get off some damage on something else. And it turns out that because of his bulk investment and my special attack investment, I believe I ended up getting like absolute maximum damage on that hidden power ground, which is pretty funny. I'm not sure if I got a lower roll if he would have kept it or not, but either way, down goes the Heatran, as in comes the Sneasel, in case maybe for some reason, for some odd reason, whatever, he may want to go for an SD. I stay in as he knocks me out. He finds out that I am Assault Vested, as I will be able to bring in my Clefable here. I believe this is probably my best chance to either go for the Thunder Wave or try to get out my Stealth Rocks. I ultimately believe I go for the Thunder Wave just because if he does leave in the Sneasel and goes for like a Poisonium Z Poison Jab, I should be able to tank it, Thunder Wave him, and then maybe outspeed him or try and softball it up. As I missed my first Thunder Wave on this Togekiss, turns out that he's actually Nasty Plot. Now, the first miss did kind of suck. In the long run of the battle, I'm not too sure how much it ends up mattering entirely. Like, I guess it would have given me an extra chance for him to potentially get fully paralyzed, which might have been good for me in the long run here, as he turns out to have the heal bell. Now, Togekiss was not essentially something I was entirely too concerned about when it came to building for this matchup, so the fact that this thing has heal bell as well as being roost with nasty plot is actually very annoying. This thing is actually a giant threat, and I don't honestly have a good switch into this whatsoever. Like, I have to hope that maybe he gets fully paralyzed and that my Clefable is able to beat him 1v1. If I lose my Clefable, then the Sneasel and Druddigon along with Lopunny become a little bit scarier to deal with, and Breloom as well. But right now, this Togekiss has the potential to literally just sweep through my entire team. So after going for the Moonblast, he's going to go for the heal bell as I get on my Stealth Rocks. Now, the reason why I wanted to get on my Stealth Rocks is because with Heatran being gone, there's a good possibility that Zydog can just clean up with Choice Banded Extreme Speed. So I figured that if I get on my rocks here, even though I'll lose my Clefable, I'll still be getting off that chip damage on his fragile offensive Mons, and then Zydog will hopefully be able to clean up late game. As he knocks me out, I bring in my Zydog here. I'm just going to click 1,000 arrows, I believe, because even if he brings in the Breloom, I'll be able to find out what kind of set it is, as I will be able to luckily knock out this Togekiss. I believe if he was no HP invested, he was definitely in range. If he did have HP investment, then it was a damage roll. As down goes Togekiss, in comes the Breloom. I am locked into my 1,000 arrows, so there's no chance that I'm staying in against this Breloom, and my best switch in is probably going to be my Virizion here. I thought that he most likely would want to go for a Spore if he had it. This way, if I bring in my Virizion, then I can absorb the Spore, now be put to sleep, and then next turn potentially go for a close combat. As he goes for the Facade, turns out that he is indeed a more defensive variant of Breloom, as he has the Protect as well, which makes a lot of sense. Like, defensive Poison Heal Breloom was definitely something that me and my front office were expecting, so I was not really surprised by that. As he sees that I lock myself into close combat, I believe that I switched here into my Talonflame on the off chance that he did try to go for the Facade again, but it turns out that he has the Bulk Up. I'm not entirely too sure why he has Bulk Up. Like, defensive Breloom, like physically defensive Breloom alone already beats Zydog, so I don't really know why he had Bulk Up there as an option. I feel like maybe Spore, Toxic, or Leech Seed would have been probably a little bit better. But either way, I will be able to get off a Roost here with my Talonflame, as in comes the Druddigon. I'm not really concerned about what this Druddigon wants to do to me. If he has a Toxic, or if he has Rock Slide, then that could be a little bit annoying. But in case he did have the Rock move, I decided to go for the Will-O-Wisp here. This way I can kind of cripple what offensive moves he's going to be hitting me with, as he turns out to be Poisonium Z Gunk Shot on this Druddigon, and that's actually really cool. I figured that if he did bring Druddigon, it would have Gunk Shot, but I didn't expect him to put the Z move on it. I thought that maybe it would be like Aya Papa Berry, or just like Rocky Helmet Leftovers potentially. But he does still end up doing a decent little bit of damage to me, so I'm not really too concerned about this thing, as I believe I end up going for the taunt this turn, which was a bit of a dumb play on my part, I guess, because if he had Toxic, he might have just gone for it initially. So I guess what I should have done was probably just gone for an Acrobatics. That way I could have got off a little bit more damage on him, potentially put him in range of where I could have 2-hit KO'd him after this turn, since he popped my Chilon Berry, which the reason why I had that is because this acted as a pseudo switch into Diggersby potentially, or the Lopunny if it came down to it. And the fact that he has Facade is actually really annoying, because now he's still able to do decent damage to my Talonflame, so I have to hope that maybe I can try to get out of this exchange with at least being over 50% HP, because honestly, Talonflame can, in theory, potentially 1v1 the rest of his team. Like with Flame Body, I can potentially burn the Lopunny, and if he doesn't have Facade, that's good. I take on the Breloom. I am not worried about the Sneasel because of what I have left in my back here, which is my Milk Tank. And this Druddigon is not an issue, but he turns out to have the Dragon Tail, and unfortunately Dragon Tails me into literally the worst option. Like if he had Dragon Tailed me into Virizion or into Zydog, I would have been able to keep my Talonflame to potentially still switch in to the Breloom later in this match and try to act as a revenge killer, or just try to Will-O-Wisp something on the potential switch in. So this was really lucky for CJ here. I'm not sure if it would have changed the outcome of the battle, but it definitely put me in a much worse position than I already was in. As he goes for the Icicle Crash, I was hoping, man, I was really hoping and praying he missed that Icicle Crash to kind of make up for that unfortunate Dragon Tail there, but he ends up hitting me as I bring in my Virizion. If he himself is Scarfed, which I don't know what this Sneasel is, then he outspeeds me here, but he doesn't turn out to be Scarfed as I am able to knock him out with the close combat. Now he knows that I am Scarfed, which means he most likely is not going to want to bring in his Mega Lopunny here because I will be able to outspeed it, as in comes the Breloom. Now because he has the bulk up, if he is not max defense, max HP Breloom, then I do have a good chance of potentially beating this 1v1 depending on how things go. Even though he does have the poison deal, he can gain back 24% HP every single time. I can at least put him low enough to where hopefully my Zydog can come in, and then with Zydog I should be able to hopefully win the battle, because I do still have my Milk Tank in the back, which is a Choppleberry variant of Milk Tank, which will hopefully be able to live any one hit from the Lopunny. I can chip it down with the return or go for the Bulldoze to lower its speed, so then Zydog is guaranteed to outspeed. And that was kind of my game plan at this point. I just need to try and put this Breloom as low as possible so Zydog can come in and we can end up winning the match, as he's going to knock me out here with the Facade. After the close combat damage and checking the calcs, it turns out that he is a very physically defensive Breloom, but it's fine because we do have the Choice Banded Zen Headbutt on our Zydog here, and it also does have a 20% chance to flinch, as well as the potential chance of always critting him, which is really nice. So regardless of the scenario here, I need to go for Zen Headbutt. It's really the only move I have that is going to be able to do enough damage to this Breloom, hopefully, or that will give me my best chance of still pulling out the victory here. As I go for the Zen Headbutt, it does a nice amount of damage, but I do not get the crit nor the flinch, and I will drop to the Facade. And at this point, my last mon is going to be my Milk Tank, which unfortunately will not be able to beat this Breloom along with the Lopunny, unless CJ just kind of like passed out or something and it went to timer. Then okay, that maybe I could have won, or maybe he just misclicked. I guess I could have won, but I'm not going to be able to pull out the win here, as he goes for the Protect. I'm not really too sure why. Come to find out, he actually doesn't even have a fighting type move. I was really scared of him having Drain Punch or Mach Punch at this stage in the match, but I'm guessing he didn't have either of them. As I go for the return, no crit unfortunately to not be able to knock him out, which is actually kind of funny, because if I had knocked him out there with the crit return at this amount of HP, Milk Tank might have actually been able to 1v1 the Mega Lopunny, and that also still would have given me a chance to win. But yeah, it is what it is. We are going to unfortunately take another loss, back-to-back losses, which is kind of crazy, because if I'm being honest with you guys, it's been a very, very long time since I've lost back-to-back weeks. I think it's been since like last year in season 2 of the P4G, not this season that came up, the one that we won, but the season before that was last year. So yeah, either way, very good game into my boy Mr. Choiced CJ. Check him out, channel link and stuff will be down below. Honestly, CJ's post-com battles are probably the only like post-com battles I honestly watch, if I'm being truthful with you guys. I don't know what it is about CJ's videos, but I always like his post-coms, and he's a genuine awesome guy. Garbage at Fortnite, but it's okay because I carried him. No, but yeah, shouts out to my boy CJ. Love him and love you guys. If y'all did enjoy, you know what to do. That being said, I will see you all next week. Hopefully, yeah. Bye.
No matter where you're at, I'm not here to make friends, it's time to attack and deplete your HP with a final smash. Don't make me turn around and pull a 6-foot hacks. 6 foot hacks, hacks. Yeah. 6 foot hacks, hacks. Yeah. 6 foot hacks, hacks.